Hey friends, Gary here, and I want to show you some recently released new cameras. Let's start with this guy. This is the Fujifilm XM5. Small, lightweight, affordable, very capable. Now I'll show you the next one. It's Sony ZV-E10 Mark II. It is also small, it is also lightweight, it is also affordable and very capable. Now I want to show you some lenses. This is the Viltrox 20mm f2.5 for full frame. Small, lightweight, affordable, very capable. Wow, you start to see the theme right here. And now for APS-C we have the Sigma 10 to 18mm f2.8. Again, you know the drill. Small, lightweight, affordable, very capable. Now you guys know that I'm a big fan of Micro Four Thirds. Let's check out some new offerings for Micro Four Thirds. So here's a GH7 and here's an OM1 Mark II. Yes, they're very capable, but something really odd about them. Oh yeah, they're very big and they're expensive. What about lenses? Micro Four Thirds are usually small and lightweight and quite affordable. Well, let's see right here. 150 to 600mm. Isn't that a Sigma full frame lens? Why is it so big and expensive? Oh my god, what just happened? I think Micro Four Thirds has lost its way. Now it's becoming Mega Four Thirds. Seeing the new APS-C and full frame cameras and lenses makes me genuinely worried about the state of Micro Four Thirds, and to be honest with you, worried is an understatement. I'm truly afraid as a big fan of Micro Four Thirds about the direction that Micro Four Thirds is currently heading from both Lumix and OM System. Sure, there are plenty of new great releases from Micro Four Thirds. There's the Lumix G9 Mark II and the GH7. Both are completely capable cameras, high quality, professional, but they're big, they're heavy, and they're not exactly affordable. And then there's also the OM System OM1 Mark II. Well, yes, it's a nice camera. It's very capable, not as large as maybe the GH7, but the price is out of my reach, and also it's not small like the what Micro Four Thirds used to be. Well, what happened with the micro in Micro Four Thirds? I think Micro Four Thirds already lost the word micro in it. Everything is now big, everything is now heavy and also expensive. Like, it doesn't make sense anymore for anyone to stay in Micro Four Thirds if they want that small and lightweight in compactness advantage that Micro Four Thirds used to provide. Let me show you this guy right here. This is the Panasonic Lumix GX85, and then there's also the newer Panasonic Lumix GX9, very similar to this guy with better sensor. It's been a few years since this camera and the GX9 was released. It's getting really long in the tooth. It's very old. It's still a great camera. I still use it. I still love it. Such a perfect camera for me because it is very small, compact, lightweight, but it has viewfinder. It has a really nice screen that articulates a little bit. It has in-body stabilizer. Manual control with this guy is just perfect. We really need an update to the GX85 and GX9. And then over here we have the GX850, also from Panasonic Lumix, even smaller compared to the GX85. It doesn't have the viewfinder, it doesn't have the in-body stabilizer, manual control, not really that great, but it's such a fun camera and it's truly small and compact. I mean, it's only 200 something grams. It's almost the same weight as my smartphone. That's crazy. This is what Micro Four Thirds was all about. Not that big OM1 Mark II or the GH7. Not that they are not great, but you know, this is really something that draws me to Micro Four Thirds back then. The compactness, the lightweightness, and the feature packedness of these cameras. Now, if you want features, you have to pay premium, and that premium will also come with that large and heavy bodies. There are also some other great Micro Four Thirds cameras from the past, like the Olympus Pen F, such a great camera. And then also this guy right here, the Panasonic Lumix GX8, such an excellent camera. It has every features that I really need back then. It has a slightly more rudimentary in-body stabilizer compared to the GX85, but man, oh man, this was my primary camera back then, and using this, I didn't feel like I'm missing anything at all. And then there's also the Olympus EPL series. That was really fun little cameras. They're about the same size and weight as the GX85. And you know, there's also like the G100. It was almost a perfect camera, however it doesn't have eyepiece and it's marketed toward vloggers. So vlogging without eyepiece really restricts you. You don't really have that much option for wide angle lens. So yeah, if it has eyepiece, then I think G100 would have been perfect, but I digress. Anyway, we need more smaller micro four thirds cameras. Not just smaller, but also capable, feature-rich, and also affordable. Remember the competitions that I mentioned earlier in this video, they're starting to catch up. Full frame and APS-C now starts to look promising in terms of size and weight, and also in terms of price as well. They're now starting to catch up with Micro Four Thirds, and there's no point staying with Micro Four Thirds if all the cameras are going to be big and heavy. Bigger and heavier than APS-C and full frame. Why should you choose Micro Four Thirds? Remember, we have the word micro in Micro Four Thirds, and micro means small, not big. Let's make Micro Four Thirds micro again. So yeah, it sounds like Micro Four Thirds has lost its hopes, and it sounds like it makes sense for people to switch from Micro Four Thirds to other camera formats. However, I still think that Micro Four Thirds still has some strengths that can really hold people and make them stay with Micro Four Thirds. And those strengths are medium telephoto and the classic lenses. Over here, I have the lens that I think will save Micro Four Thirds from total destruction. This is the Panasonic Lumix 35 to 100mm f4 to f5.6, a medium telephoto lens like a 70 to 200mm for full frame, but it can fit on the palm of your hand, and the image quality is excellent and the price is affordable. So yeah, this aligns with the original philosophy of Micro Four Thirds, and I think this is an important lens that will make Micro Four Thirds attractive for people who are looking for medium telephoto lens. Same story right here. This is the Panasonic Lumix 14 to 140mm super zoom lens. Super zoom in Micro Four Thirds I think is very different from super zoom of different camera formats. First and foremost, this lens is sharp, it is contrasty, and I'm really happy using this lens because of the image quality. I think it's good enough for mission critical purposes. I brought this lens to Iceland and I got some really nice keeper shots. And with super zoom lenses, usually of different camera formats, it's not contrasty, it's not sharp, there are compromises. Not with this guy. I can really depend on this super zoom lens, and I think this is also what makes Micro Four Thirds attractive. Something that has an all-in-one versatile kind of capabilities. And then there are guys like this one. This is the Olympus 45mm f1.8. equivalent to full frame 90mm, the perfect portrait lens and also distant landscape kind of lens. It's very affordable, it's very sharp, image quality is excellent with this guy. There's also the Panasonic version 42.5mm f1.7, also a great lens, an example of why you should stay with Micro Four Thirds. And then there are tiny ultra budget lenses like the Panasonic Lumix 14mm f2.5, small lightweight pancake lens with excellent sharpness and large f2.5 aperture that's almost flush with the depth of your camera body. This is another reason to stay with Micro Four Thirds lenses like this. I know there are some full frame and APS-C lenses that can be as small as this guy, but still this is very tiny and lightweight, and combined with something really small like my GX850, it provides a combination, a setup that's very minimalist but can pack a lot of punch. Or maybe the 20mm f1.7 Panasonic Lumix lens, also a pancake lens, very small. This has an excellent sharpness, large aperture. you get some background blur, and yeah, it's just such a fun, nice little lens. Another reason to stay with Micro Four Thirds. So yeah, now the big question. Will I stay with Micro Four Thirds? Well, let me start with the bad news first. I'm already branching. No surprise, I already have this guy right here. Some of you guys might already know this is the Leica M8.2 camera. Really nice Leica camera. It's big, it's heavy, I'm not using it for travel, but boy, oh boy, it's such a fun camera when I just wanna enjoy some photography time. And speaking about video, I'm also outsourcing my video needs to DJI cameras. So right now this video is being recorded with a DJI Osmo Pocket 3 small compact vlogging camera with built-in gimbal. Such an excellent video camera. And for POV vlogs, I'm using the DJI Osmo Action 4. Again, another DJI camera. I think they are excellent, and for video they are dominating. Another bad news, within the next few months I'm planning to invest on either an APS-C or a full-frame Sony camera and some lenses. Yeah, bad news. I'm going to use them for serious video projects to help me improve the quality of the production of my YouTube videos, as well for B-rolls and stuff like that, and also for serious photography project because I'm quite limited with what I have in Micro Four Thirds right now. I'm also interested in adding some Fuji cameras, but I think I will go with Sony first. So that's going to be either a ZV-E10 or a Sony Alpha 7C or Alpha 7 Mark III. Maybe something similar to those guys. However, the good news is I'm only branching out. I'm still staying with Micro Four Thirds for my primary travel photography camera. It will still be my Micro Four Thirds setup because I think for travel with my current cameras like the GX85 or the GX850, they are still unbeatable in terms of size, weight, performance and quality. And also the lenses for travel photography, these small guys like the 14mm, the 35-100 or the 45 or even the kit lens 12-32, they are still very small and compact and lightweight. And for international air travel, when you have that 7kg weight limit, Micro Four Thirds is still packing more punch compared to the other camera formats. Hey friends, sorry for interrupting this video. Just a quick announcement, if you want to learn how to take better pictures, you should check out my course ebook called Simplifying Travel Photography. In this ebook, you will learn all the things that you need to know about travel photography and just photography in general. It is based on my 12+ years experience as an enthusiast travel photographer after visiting more than 20 countries around the world. And that includes composition, layering, storytelling, camera settings, mastering your lenses and focal lengths, best travel cameras, best travel lenses, travel photography gear, and many more, including plenty of sample pictures. If you are interested in getting this ebook and you want to purchase it, you can go to this link right here or scan this QR code right here using your phone, or you can go to the description below. I will put the link there as well. By purchasing this ebook, you will greatly help me to continue making high quality photography content on this channel. Thank you, and now let's continue with the video. So yeah, that wraps up today's video. I'm really hoping in the future that either Panasonic Lumix or OM System will come up with Micro Four Thirds cameras again. I hope that they're coming back to the original philosophy of being small, compact, lightweight, but still capable and can deliver greatness with affordable price. Anyway, I wanna hear more from you guys. What do you think of the state of Micro Four Thirds right now? Have they lost their way? Or are they going to the right direction by releasing more pro-level camera bodies that are larger and heavier and more expensive? Let me know on the comment down below. I'm not really bashing on Micro Four Thirds. trying to voice my own opinion, and I wanna hear more from other people as well. And if you have any question, please comment down below as well. I will try my best to answer them. Also, don't forget to support my channel. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, use my affiliate links, and also use the super thanks button to make a small donation for my channel. It will greatly be appreciated. Thank you, and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.